So how would you like to learn the hidden secret that commands your customer's wallet like a tigress in heat? Now, I know that's probably the craziest marketing title you've ever read. And I want to show you why it's not only just a crazy marketing title, but it's actually very legit. And so I'm going to walk you through exactly how it works right now. And so I've got $1 million question for you that probably on the surface is not going to look like $1 million question. And I'm going to show you by the end that it in fact is $1 million question. And the question is, what does Taylor Swift, a monkey pulling off a girl's bra, and internet porn have to do with you never having to worry about new customers ever again? Because those things probably right now look a whole lot unrelated. I'm going to show you that they, in fact, have everything to do with each other. So one of the big things that we hear really, really often is, I can't compete with my competitors. There's always somebody in your market that's spending a fortune, and makes it seem as if the only way to be successful in advertising is to have a $100,000 a month budget or $500,000 a month. And so a lot of people come to us worried about competition. So are you in some ways worried about your competitors moving in, driving up prices, and things like that? You got all these people competing with you? Well, guess what? I actually have some horrible, god-awful news, some really fucking bad shit to tell you right now, which is, it's actually way, way worse than that. It is actually significantly worse than that. And I know something that your competitor really doesn't know that I'm going to show you. That, in fact, not only does your competitor not know, but most of your vendors have no idea. And when I show it to you, you're going to be like, oh my God, that's so true, and it's so out in the open, and it's so obvious. But what you'll notice is it's just one of those things that, even though it's true, nobody thinks about it. And I'll show you based on their actions and how you can change, more importantly, your results, so that when we do this, you'll literally be able to control your customer's wallet. Now, obviously, you have to do this ethically, respectfully, within their own best interest. So I'm assuming you're going to use it for good, not for evil. So that's the really important criteria I'm putting on this. Anyways, let's continue. Your real competition, the horrible, horrible bad news I have for you, is not just your competitors competing, in your industry. It's this: Taylor Swift smiling with a cat. It is Kim Kardashian crying like a baby. By the way, how ridiculous is that fucking photo? Oh my God, it kills me that people actually have time to watch that. To each their own. Anyway, how about this? This is a monkey at a zoo who's like literally pulling this girl's bra off and making her boobs pop out. This is the internet, folks, by the way. This is really the internet. I wish I could tell you it was a happier place, or a more normal place than that, but it's really not. This is Samuel L. Jackson staring at a cat, and both of these are your competitor, cats and Samuel L. Jackson. How about this? Would you think this is your competitor? Here's Ted, and he says nearly 40% of the internet is pornography, and he's shocked and says, are you telling me I've never seen 60% of the internet? That's right. There are a whole lot of your customers and the people that you're trying to gain, traction in their lives and ultimately become partners in business. Internet pornography is your competitor. How about this? By the way, this guy, his profession is, I'm an internet or a pornography historian. Now, I guess history degrees really do benefit people in some way, because what else would you do as with a history degree? I'm a pornography historian. And here's one more internet porn reference. Google, it's for porn. We know exactly what you're searching for. Yeah, you're competing with giant breasts. Think about that. Big brands, like you run a restaurant or something like that, regardless of what industry you're in, there's a big brand that's competing with you. And I'm going to show you how that's true. Like Subway's dropping coupons on people, and they've already heard of Subway. How about this? Just what I call the universe's irony. This is two billboards right next to each other, and obviously it's pretty damn sexually suggestive. They got a giant thirst, the old carrot in the butthole. That's one of your competitors. Irony. Here's Rihanna, another one of your competitors that you may not know. And listen to what Rihanna says about her album, which is, sometimes I had to just stop recording because the lyrics were too deep. They would just leave me in tears. And then read the actual lyrics. He want that cake, 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 cake. Oh, baby, I like it. You so excited. Don't try to hide it. I'm going to make you my bitch. Cake, 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 cake. So there's Rihanna's deepness, which is competing with your customer. And you, ultimately. Walmart, by the way, and the news, because this is both of them at once. A woman's glued to the toilet right now at Walmart. That's in Wayne County, by the way, which is my local area. I live close enough to Detroit to hear the gunshots, but on the Canadian side, because I am Canadian. You're competing with Tom Brady in Monday Night Football. Look at just Dreamy Tom's goofy smile, not getting any high fives. Everybody stood him up there. Did you know you're competing with Tom Brady? And the last one I'll show you that you're competing with is right here. Sweet baby Jesus. Get it because it's pancake batter? I don't know. It's a corny pun. But anyways, you're competing with Jesus because half the population is, super Christian and following that, super intently. So it's extremely important. I'm going to have you pay extra close attention here because what does this have to do with you and your business? Is that, let me say something really obvious, and I'm going to say it twice. Your customer does not have unlimited attention. In fact, they have a very limited attention span and tens of thousands of resources competing with it, right? Your customer's attention is not just being competed with by your competitors, but like I said, it's Rihanna and Jesus and Tom Brady and cat photos and internet porn. You have a very stacked deck against you right now, and it is so much more stacked than most business owners realize. So let me say that again because it's worth mentioning a second time. Your customer does not have unlimited attention. They, in fact, have very limited attention and tens of thousands of resources competing for it. So 90% of the game is just getting their attention in the first place. For real, that's 90% of business is knowing how to really grab their attention and make them listen. So here's the deal. This is kind of sad. And when I show you this is a resistance that we encountered in so many different ways until we really figured this out, which is 99.99999% of businesses, including probably your own business, they're failing a test miserably that they don't even know they're taking. Imagine that shit. Failing a test that you don't even know you're taking. That's some girlfriend shit right there. Like, that's what women do to some of us men. And by the way, that's me and my girlfriend. And I'm going to tell you some cool stuff about what I've been able to do as a result of getting this in, and what I think the benefits, more importantly, will be for you when you get the system in place that brings you the customers so you can literally command their wallet. So Gary Vaynerchuk's you may not know who he is. He's very, very famous in our circles. He has millions of followers, and he's known because he's basically the biggest social media agency in the whole country, and they do the really big brands like Coke and Pepsi and Walmart and all that shit. And people ask him what he does, and he said it in 3 words. I day trade people's attention. Again, this is coming from the biggest and the best. So if you knew that it was that hard to get your customers' attention and how valuable that attention really was, would you ever do some shit like this, which is what most local businesses are doing? Call the best, Country Drywall. Or this, General Dentistry. Like, if you're a dentist, you're talking about drilling teeth, and you're competing with Kanye West. That's not a good place to be in. The Mexican Grill, the Mex-Mex. Again, you're competing with George Clooney and Antonio Banderas. And here's the lawyer one. You guys may have seen this one before. Boring lawyer name. Nobody cares. Anything but ordinary. Geez, this is the worst one. If you're an accountant, you do the most boring shit on earth, and you're competing with people's attention that is being stretched in a million ways and being entertained, you're fighting a really uphill battle. And if you knew how important attention was, would you do some shit like that? Write a boring ad like that? So let me ask you, this is going to sound a little harsh, but how in the fucking fuck are you supposed to get their attention in all that sea of nonsense and cut through all that noise right now? How do you do that to your customer and ultimately do it so you command their wallet? Well, I'm going to tell you, I forgot a word there, but it says, do you know what your customer always, like 1,000% of the time, gives a shit about? And it's this. Me, 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 me. That's what they're thinking about all day long. So if you advertise your own business, you're fighting a losing game because you're not talking about what matters to them. And this is the only thing that matters to them. So this is really, really powerful stuff, because the thing they always care about universally is they always care about themselves and their own problems 1,000% of the time, and that's never going to change. And so knowing that is extremely powerful because you get to use it to your advantage. So instead of talking about yourself and your own business and how great you are, you talk about themselves and their own problems, which is all they care about. Even if your business solves those problems, they don't really care about that, right? It's like, in a way, if somebody breaks their leg, they want to go to the hospital to get it fixed. They don't really care about how shiny the ambulance is, right? That's not important to them. So oftentimes we're trying to sell the shininess of our ambulance instead of selling a solution to a broken leg and pain. So that's why if you can talk about your customer's problem, they always buy. And their own self-interest moves them to you. Like, that's all it is, right? Is they're doing it because it's what they want in their lives. And so it becomes super easy for you, and you literally become the master of their wallet. And so what that means to you is you can always have customers whenever you want. You can have the system in place to bring it to you. And obviously, we're a big fan of using these time compression funnels because they work. It means that you get incredible benefits simply because when all the money comes to you, I mean, you get to pick and choose who you work with. It makes you pickier. And ultimately, it benefits the people you serve because they end up being the good ones, the ones you can most help, the easiest. And also, you know, there's a trickle-down effect to everybody in your life because you're better to family, you have more to give, and all that cool stuff. So I think it's super awesome. So that's why you have to become a master of commanding their attention through their own problems. So that's why I would absolutely love to have you at one of our implementation boot camps. For real, I mean, this is one of those things, if you're in a situation like me, what had happened is, you know, for so many years we weren't making the money we were supposed to, and I just didn't know how to really get this stuff. And I spent, you know, way too many years denying my girlfriend and people around me the experiences they deserve, simply because, you know, the money wasn't there, and I kept having to say, you know, there isn't enough money, I'm sorry, I'd love to travel. And so my girlfriend wanted to travel, and I promised myself when we finally got in order we would do it. And so one of the cool things for me has been, you know, This Is Us in Myrtle Beach, and This Is Us, we spent a month in Hawaii. We ended up traveling for like 8 months straight in the last year. And This Was Us in Norway until she actually got sick of traveling. But, you know, I wanted to really take care of the people I love. And I'm sure you've got people in your life, whether that's you want to put your kids in the best college, or, you know, live in the best house with, you know, take care of them and spoil the people who deserve it most. And I think for those reasons, this is something you have to do, not that you should do. And if you're struggling with this, you know, these time compression funnels is the best way I know how to fix that. And we generally fix it in 3 days. Some people take a few days longer. I'm just being honest about that. But, you know, we build the infrastructure in the system and get it in place so that it works for you, because people are always going to care about their problems. And the sooner you know how to speak that language, the faster you know, everything goes in your direction, and you never have to worry about business, and you don't have to worry about money, and you don't have to worry about the economy and the ups and downs. None of that shit matters, because you have the ability to generate business on demand at will, literally command people's wallets, because they'll always care about themselves and their own problems. And as long as you're helping them, you can do that ethically and honestly. So if that's for you, your family is not worth waiting even a second longer. Don't be like me and wait 8 years, because, you know, this stuff is beautiful, and you deserve to share it with those people who matter. So I'd love to give you those kind of results. Like I mentioned before, it doesn't take long. This is Sandy, and it really took him, you know, we had a 15-minute call, and he was, you know, making $3,000 just a second later. So that's how quick it can change for you. So book one of the times below. There should be a button on this page, and, you know, don't delay. It's you're costing yourself and your family if you do. So see you there, and we'll rock it.